ओम ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। यन्नित्यमानन्दमनन्तमेकं शिवेति नाम्ना श्रुतयो गृह्णन्ति तस्यावतारो नररूपधारी कृपासुदाब्धि भुवि रामकृष्णः। जननीं शारदां देवीं रामकृष्णं जगद्गुरुं पादपद्मे तयो श्रुत्वा प्रणमामि मुहुर्मुहुः। सत्यव्रतं सत्यपरं त्रिसत्यं सत्यस्य योनिं निहितं च सत्ये सत्यस्य सत्यं मृतसत्यनेत्रं सत्यात्मकं त्वां शरणं प्रपन्नाः। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवं। रामाय रामचन्द्राय रामभद्राय वेधसे रघुनाथाय नाथाय सीतायाः पतये नमः। यस्यात्मभूतस्य गुरोः प्रसादात् अहं विमुक्तोऽस्मि शरीरबन्धात्। सर्वोपदेष्टुः पुरुषोत्तमस्य यस्याङ्घ्रियुग्मं प्रणतोऽस्मि नित्यम्। So far we have seen scriptural evidences for the Vedic assertion Satyameva Jayate. We have seen many Mahatmas' life which were described in the scriptures. All the lives give one particular message, that whatever may be your angularities, if you have this particular value called honest life, all your angularities will be mended and ultimately you will have success in your life according to your wish. If you want to have success in life in terms of wealth, you will certainly be the wealthiest person in the world. If it is in terms of power, you will be the most powerful in the world. If it is in terms of attaining higher lokas, certainly you will attain higher lokas. And if it is in terms of spiritual growth here and now, certainly you will attain spiritual growth. Each life shows one type of achievement. Jayam has to be understood properly. Victory in life has to be understood properly. If gaining money alone, becoming wealthiest person alone is the meaning of Jayam, then you have to brand life of Swami Vivekananda as a failure. Can we brand Swami Vivekananda's life as a failure? You cannot do that. Therefore, the claim that a person who gets wealth is a successful person is a relative claim. If a person claims that I have the capacity to order anything what I want in my life, entire world is at my beck and call, and that is considered to be success in life. If a person claims, then life of Bhagavan Sri Ram Krishna has to be branded as a failure. Born in a poor family, having none even to look after him, still he is worshipped while living and after living by millions of people. He is worshipped as Bhagavan himself. So the claim that a powerful person is a successful person is a vain claim. If a person claims that I have good health, I can enjoy this world, whatever I want to enjoy, I can enjoy this world. The capacity to enjoy is the criterion for success in life. If anybody claims, then you have to brand Mother Sarada Devi's life as a failure. Can anyone do that? Therefore, as the devotees of Sri Ramakrishna, Mother Sarada Devi and Swami Vivekananda, we should understand what is the meaning of success in life. That meaning can never be gaining more wealth, gaining more power, gaining more capacity to enjoy the sensory pleasures. The real meaning of success in life is nothing but holding to the values in human life, living a quality human life, and ultimately gaining spiritual maturity in human life while living. That must be the meaning of success. And if you take that as the criterion, you can find all these lives of great Mahatmas becomes a shining example that they are the real winners. And all other winnings become a namke vaste winning. Even a person who gets gold medal in Olympic, he says, I have lost. A time will come in his life to say that I have lost, correct? Even a gold medal winner has to say in his life one time that I have lost. Or he has to say after getting retirement that he has to say that I am incapable of retaining that glory which I gained. So that glory, that medal, that success which is not going to accompany you even in your human life. Where is the question of being successful even after the life after death? Therefore, we should be more matured to understand the meaning of success. The meaning of success in life can never be gaining wealth or power or position or the capacity to enjoy the sensory pleasures. As Swamiji says, even a dog knows how to eat. Nobody can eat like a dog, he says. With that much of gusto, that much of pleasure, nobody can eat like dog. Suppose a person claims that my stomach is good, whatever I eat, it is getting digested, I have hunger time to time, my health is all right, therefore only 3 hours, 4 hours I do walking and other yogas, this, that, therefore I am happy, I am successful. If anybody says, then what it means? According to Swami Vivekananda, he has reduced his life to that level. Therefore, we should be very clear in our understanding what is the meaning of success. The meaning of success is nothing but leading a quality human life and holding the personal life as a model for, at least for our children, for our family members. Even though the society may not appreciate you, if you can manage to win the hearts of your family members by your sheer character, that can be considered as success in life. That is why even when the husband deserts the wife when she was pregnant, even when that husband deserts, that time that pregnant wife says, I am going to die. Still my prayer is what? I should be wife of my husband in the next Janma also. This was the prayer of Mother Sita Devi. Apparently, Rama's deserting Sita, that action called deserting Sita, becomes a questionable action. But still, the victim who happened to be Mother Sita, she says, I know the grandness of my husband. For the sake of truth, he can renounce even me. I am the witness for his truthful life. So that type of conviction should be there, at least for our family members, about our life. Let the world say whatever it wants, but at least our family members should say that even though he is good for nothing, my husband, my father is good for nothing, but still he is a good man. That certificate is enough. My husband may be good for பொழைக்க தெரியாத ஆளு. In Tamil சொல்லுவாங்க, பொழைக்க தெரியாத ஆளு, even though he is good for nothing, he doesn't have practical knowledge how to live in this world, how to manipulate in this world, but still he is a man of character. Wife should say about husband should say about the wife. So therefore, wherever we are, we will take a resolution that in my small life, a simple life, it is not with the what you call camera and focus light and other thing, and it is not with all the time media wallas and other thing. Nobody observes my life even, but still in that life, I will hold this particular value as a value in my life and attain the Lord. What is the proof that if I follow this particular value, I will attain the Lord? What is the proof? This Tamil Nadu culture, this Tamil culture is the proof for this assertion. Satyameva Jayate. If you take the life of 63 Nayanmars, they are all so humble people. Oh, one person is a dhobi, another person is a farmer, another person is a weaver. All small people. But just because they held on to one particular thing as a vow, what was the result? They attained the Lord Himself. So being born in Tamil culture, we cannot deny this. We cannot deny the lives of all these 63 Nayanmars. And that's what now today we are going to see as the historical evidence for the Vedic assertion that Satyameva Jayate. What do you mean by historical evidences? In what way it is different from scriptural evidences? Historical evidences mean anything which is recorded historically and accepted by other historians. Understand? Scriptural evidence means anything written in a book but not accepted by historians. They call it mythology and history. What is the difference? For us, there is no difference because whatever scripture says is history. If scripture says Rama lived, Rama lived. What is the proof? He lives till date. What is the proof? Krishna lived because he lives in my life till date. He lives in the national life till date. The very fact a name, a character, a personality lives in the social life and in personal life till date, that is the proof that he lived that time. If I am a Vaidikaha, if I am a man of Vedic culture, then I have no doubt in accepting the assertions of Veda, accepting the assertions of all the Puranas and the Itihasas. It is a fact. Other historians may not accept it. People who are born in other culture and other religion, they may not accept the scriptures as the valid proof for the assertion that Satyameva Jayate. If that type of mind is there among us, for that mind, again we try to bring the historical evidences. There are two types of history. In any society, there will be two types of history. One is religious history, another is secular history. One is religious history, another is secular history. What do you mean by religious history? A life incident accepted by the society and the historians wherein unseen power comes and play. Unseen power comes and play in that life incident. If you go towards Vandavasi, a town, there is a town called Madhurantakam. Correct? Madhurantakam. In that Madhurantakam, there is a temple, Rama's temple. What is the name of that Rama? Erikatha Rama. A Rama who guarded the lake. Correct? Is it history or mythology? You tell. Now you tell. Is it history or mythology? Rama, the character is mythological character. Then what happened is history. What you will do? What you will do? How you know that it happened? Because there is a donation from the collector of the district. That district collector has given that person, unfortunately or fortunately, happened to be a British. What you will do? Can you deny the presence of Rama? Or can you deny the incident at all? Erikatha Rama incident, can you deny? Therefore, there is a difference, little difference is there between religious history and secular history. Today we will see evidences from religious history. As I told, life of 63 Nayanmars are all history, it's all proven fact. Jnanasambandha has come here. What is the fact? Lot of facts are there. He has come to Mylapore. He has visited our Kapalisha. Same Kapalisha, even though we are visiting, nothing happens to us. But when he came, so many things happened to him. So the same Kapalishwara is there last 1,000 years nearly. All the 63 Nayanmars, their lives are religious, historical proof. And if you take them, there was a Nilakanta Nayanar. What he did? What he did? Nothing he did. Except keeping one promise in his life, nothing he did. Being annoyed by his character, his wife told, since you have gone to somebody's house, therefore, in the name of the Lord Nilakanta, I say you should not touch me. That's all. He might have gone to somebody's house, okay? There is an angularity in that sense. But still, this person, you see, he took it as a fact. All right, because we have did Shapata in the name of the Lord, I accept it. I will not touch you. Whole life they lived. And Bhagavan got irritated. What is this? So we have to bring out the glory of this person. Even though so humble, how can you know husband doesn't touch wife? How can you know other than husband and wife? How can others know? Nobody knows. So society never knew the glory of these great people. Neither she touched nor he touched. So Bhagavan comes and makes one Leela. I don't want to tell all the stories, you know. Hopefully. You know, na? Hopefully. Because Sendamil Pudalvargal, Paindamil Pudalvargal, Teendamil Pudalvargal. So you all, being the Tamilians, you know the life of 63 Nayanmars. Simple vow, that's all. All right. Since you have made Shapata in the name of Lord, I will not touch you whole life. So Bhagavan comes and appreciates that simple attempt. You honored the words of your wife because it is told in my name. Therefore, I myself come and bless you. And what was the result? They attained Lord. And if you take Iyarpagai Nayanar, very difficult to translate in English. Natural enemy Nayanar. Iyarpagai Nayanar. And he had one vow in his life. All right, anybody who has bhasma, who appears to be a devotee of the Lord, whatever he asks, I will give. Any person who appears to be a devoted person, devotee of the Lord, if he asks anything, I will give. So he was following that in a small way. Whoever came and asked anything, whatever was there with him, he gave. Then Bhagavan wanted to show this grandness of this person. He came as a devotee of the Lord with bhasma and other thing, and he says, I want your wife. What will be ordinary person's reaction? He will tell, I want your life. If you want my wife, I want your life. Correct? But this person says, all right, take. You see, eccentric. It's all eccentric. We may call him as eccentric, or feminist movement may call him as a heartless person. This person says, all right, take. Hey, are you serious? Yes, I am serious. Please take. No, you may agree, your relatives will not agree. No problem, I will be coming with you as security guard. Security guard for what? Not to protect the wife, but to send the wife with another person. See the grandness. Because so much convinced that if I follow truth, I can never be the loser. Let me see what is the examination question. Then what happens finally? Bhagavan gives darshan. So karmana tam abhyarche siddhim vindati manavaha. Bhagavan says in Gita. You don't need extraordinary things in your life. Just hold on certain small things. But if you hold on, you will have examination. Fortunately, you will pass also in that examination. If you hold on. Because you are holding on, you will pass in that examination. And the result is what? Attaining the infinite. And if you take a Ilayan Kudi Nayanar, he had a small vow that before my food, I will feed someone and eat. That's all. Simple. I will feed one person before taking food. We may think, it's also a small thing. What is this? Feeding one person. I also feed. But if you decide to feed like this, immediately all examinations will come. When you commit something, immediately examiners will come. So, entire wealth is spent in feeding. And he lost all his wealth, and there was a time in his life that he did not have food at all. That time, in that situation, a devotee comes and says, I am hungry, please feed me. This person, being a farmer, is a farmer. Being a farmer, he says, Harara, yesterday only I sowed all the seeds, paddy seeds in the paddy field. Let me go and bring the seeds from the paddy field. He brought it from the paddy field and cooked it and fed it. That means what? Another 3 months, no food. But still he was ready to do that. And the examiner happened to be Bhagavan Shiva himself. And if you take Meipurul Nayanar, he had a simple vow that any person who appears to be the devotee of Lord, any person who appears to be the devotee of the Lord, I will not fight with him. Simple vow. But not simple vow. And that person happened to be Meipurul Nayanar, happened to be a Raja. Raja cannot have this vow, but he had it. What happened? His neighbor country was enemy country, and that Raja wanted to defeat this Nayanar, Meipurul Nayanar, and he was not able to do that. Then what he did, that enemy Raja came in the form of a devotee with bhasma and other thing. And as even this Meipurul Nayanar about to bow down, about to pay the respect for this devotee, immediately that person kills him. Even at the deathbed, this Meipurul Nayanar says, please don't punish him because he has come in the form of devotee. So therefore don't punish him. Then if you take Sirutunda Nayanar, another eccentric devotee, he also had a simple vow that without feeding a devotee, I will not take food. And one day, he was searching for a devotee to feed. No devotee was available. Finally, he prays to the Lord. Therefore, Bhagavan comes as devotee, as a what you call tapasvi. He says, I can eat only non-vegetarian. He, being a Shiva Bhakta, he was vegetarian. The devotee was vegetarian. This tapasvi says, I can eat only non-vegetarian. No problem, Swami. I can feed you. No, you are vegetarian. How can you feed me? No problem. Even though I am vegetarian, I can cook non-vegetarian food and feed you because I want to feed you. It is my vow. Non-vegetarian food means what do you think? It's not ordinary non-vegetarian. Human non-vegetarian. Human flesh only I will take. No problem. From where you will bring? From where you will bring? I will offer my body. You can eat. No, I don't want your body. Then I want a young body. No problem. As even the tapasvi told, I want an young body. Immediately in the mind of the devotee who was there, his son was there. No problem. Young body. That body should not have any disabilities. No problem. Because son is qualified person. Father should hold and mother should hold, and they should cut, father and mother should cut that son. Here little bit hesitation, no problem. Because here his wife is involved. So he was little bit hesitating, then he understands, wife will understand my vrata. So she will cooperate, no problem. Son should not cry, no problem. Is it possible? This man says, no problem, possible, no problem, possible, no problem, possible. You know that story. The son was killed by parent. Nowadays these stories cannot be told, okay? Child abuse committee will come. Swami is telling all these things. I am telling Nayanmar's story. It is not my opinion. And parent killed the child and cooked the child. How can they do that? How can they do that? Because they know Satyameva Jayate. All these are all examinations going on. So I will hold on to this truth and finally I will win. Who may be the person who is examining, I will win. Then they cooked the child and the tapasvi was sitting there for taking food, and tapasvi says, I cannot eat in a house where there is no child. You told that there is a child. Where is your child? Where is your child? Then this person goes and shouts, calling his child, "My dear, please come. Tapasvi is waiting for you. So you should accompany the Tapasvi. Please come." Child comes. See? Child comes. All these are all may appear to an ordinary mind as cock and bull story, but these are all facts, history. In this Tamil Nadu only happened. And if you take Thirunavukaras's life, one more Nayanar, Thirunavukarasar. 50 years he was a Nastika. He was a Nastika. Never accepted Vedic way of life, never accepted the existence of God. He was a Nastika, and not only ordinary Nastika, leader of the Nastikas. Parampara continues. Tamil Nadu only, leader of the Nastika. Then, due to the prayers of his sister, Bhagavan comes in his life and brings back him to his natural religion. Natural religion is a religion. In which religion we are born is called natural religion. If a person is converted to another religion, it is unnatural religion. If Bhagavan wants you to grow in that religion, he would have made you to born in that religion, in that family, to that parent. The very fact that he has given you, this is the place, this is the playground, these are all the people you have to handle, these are all the methods you can grow. When he says, that is called nature. So this person comes back to his natural religion, and the king was being a Nastika. He decided to kill this Nayanmar, Thirunavukaras. How they decided? They were ahimsakas. So ahimsaka means what? They are not going to do any himsa. So they will not hurt anyone. Therefore they decided, so we should not hurt this person, but we should kill him at the same time. How to kill without hurting a person, you tell. So they decided, all right, let us lock him in a room wherein full of lime will be there. Sunamru, lime. And pour the water and fire it. What happened? Lime will boil. Along with the lime, his body also will be boiled. So we are not responsible for his death. Therefore we follow the ahimsa. At the same time, we can get rid of him. Like that. 7 days they locked him. What happens? If a body is put in a lime, not only body is eaten by that lime, even the bones are simply destroyed by that lime. Then the 7th day, they opened the door thinking that this fellow might have been destroyed. And this man was sitting in AC room. He sings a song. Moosu vandarai poigayum pondrade, Eesan endan irayadi nirale. I have not died. No, I have not died. How? What is the proof? I am speaking to you. Not only I speak to you, I can sing to you. How you are? Let me tell how I am. I am sitting in a place wherein full of gardens and breeze and honey bees are there, and wherein you get lot of fragrance and other thing, and that is the place where I sit. Sitting where? Sitting inside the boiling lime factory. Alright, first attempt was failed. Then second attempt. What was the second attempt? They tied him with a huge stone and simply dropped him inside the ocean. Then he came back. Tirupadiri Puliyur, near Kadalur it is there. You go there, you will see all the evidences, historical evidences. Tirupadiri Puliyur, the name of the temple. Kadalur, near Kadalur. He comes back. Without stone itself, if you are dropped in the ocean, we don't come back. Even if tied with stone, he comes back. What is the message? Bhagavan says, if you hold on to truth, even if they drop you in ocean, tying you with stone, still I will bring you. If you don't have truth, without stone also you will be drowned. What is the use of life of a person who is trying to live in this world without holding on to truth? That's the message. Then if you take Kungiliya Nayanar, That is a most simple act he has taken. What was the act? He will put dhupa, that's all. To the temple, he will put dhupa. Incense sticks he will put, that's all. We can say, I also can do. No, you can do. How much you will do? He had put dhupa for Bhagavan's temple up to which extent? Up to the extent of becoming insolvent. Go on, purchase the incense sticks and burn in the temple. Finally his wife says, all money is over. We have become now paupers. We have become insolvent. Nothing is there. No money is there. Then this person says, there is a Mangalya Sutra on your neck. Give that. His wife also gives, you see. Then he takes that and purchases that and again puts the... They may be appeared as eccentrics for a normal mind. For Bhagavan, they are great bhaktas. That is a witness given by Bhagavan himself. And if you take a life of Nandanar, another Nayanmar, ordinary labor. That's all, nothing else. But he had a love for the Lord. Like that, one more Nayanar, Tirukkurippu Tondar Nayanar. Tirukkurippu Tondar Nayanar. It's very difficult to translate all these names. Tirukkurippu Tondar Nayanar. How to translate? Auspicious writing notebook Nayanar. So if you translate certain thing, it doesn't mean. Paalum telithenum, pagum parappum, naalum kalandu unakku naan tharuven, sangat tamizhai enakku tha. Paalum, paruppum, pagum, telithenum, naalum kalandu unakku naan tharuven, sangat tamizhai enakku tha. How to translate this? My Acharya Swamiji used to say, I will give you dal, ghee, honey and sugar syrup. What you should give me? Sangat Tamil enakku tha. Association Tamil you give. What does it mean? So there are certain things in one particular language you can never translate it. Tirukkurippu Tondar. This devotee took a vow, being a dhobi, he took a vow, before washing any cloth, as my profession, I will do one puja of washing some devotee's cloth free of cost. This much only. For a dhobi who is going to wash hundreds of cloths in a day, is it a big thing to wash one more cloth? Bhagavan says, yes, it is a big thing. And you know that story. So all these historical events are evidences for normal person that whoever you may be, you can lead a committed life. Whatever may be the quantity and quality of the commitment, whatever may be this, whether it is small commitment or big commitment, if you are committed, it is certain that you will attain the spiritual glory. And if you come to lives of Alvars, for Shaiva Bhaktas, Nayanmar's history nice. For Vishnu Bhaktas, Alvars. There was one Alvar, his name was Bhakti Saraha. Tirumazhisai Alvar. This name also you cannot translate. Tirumazhisai. Now you ask any child to pronounce this. Tirumazhisai Alvar. Tamil child will tell. Tirumazhisai Alvar. Rakara will not come. Tirumazhisai Alvar. So he was doing tapasya. He used to be always with the meditation, with samadhis. There was one assistant. His name was Kamalakshaha or Kanigannan. He was serving. One day when he went for bhiksha, the Raja came to know that these sadhus, both of them, can do miracle. Because Tirumazhisai Alvar has converted one old lady as a young lady. So he also wanted to become a young person so that he can enjoy the world more. The Raja happened to see Kanikannan and he asked My dear Brahmachari, I heard that your guru is converting all the old people as young people. Why can't he convert me also? Then Kanikannan told, no, sir, you might have heard wrong thing. He doesn't do that. There is no end also. Where is the end? If one person starts converting all old people as young people, where is the end? No end also. One or two cases he might have blessed. So they might have. Why can't he do to me? That you cannot ask me. You should ask him. Why can't you do? I don't have that capacity. All right, you have the capacity of singing. Why can't you sing on me a song? Why can't you sing my glory? This person says, no, I cannot do that. Why? I am committed for Lord. I have a vow. Nakkundu manidam padom. This tongue will never praise glory of any human being. Am I a human being? Am I Naraha? I am Narendraha, he told. Then this Kanikannan told, whether you are Narendraha or Surendraha, you are not qualified enough to get one glorious song from my mouth. Then that Raja was very angry. He told, all right, if you are not going to respect me and glorify me, you are unfit to live in this world, in this country. Get out from here. Exiled. If any ordinary person is there, you would have, sir, don't take seriously. One song, why one song? 100 songs I will tell. But you cannot hear that, you cannot understand that also. The ordinary person would have told. Now we are seeing, posters, all the way, all the roads, what posters we have? We are seeing. All those things what? Futile words. Neither the person who puts that posters is truthful, nor the words which are put in the posters are truthful. Correct? Everybody knows. But this drama goes on. Drama. Only in Tamil Nadu so many dramas are going on. Because Tennaduடைய சிவனே போற்றி. Bhagavan say, Leela Sthana it is. All types of Leelas will go on. So this person was exiled from his country, Kanchi. Then this brahmachari came to Guru and he told, see, I am exiled from this country by Raja because I refuse to glorify this person. So I am going out. So please forgive me. If ordinary teacher is there, if student is exiled, if ordinary teacher is there, what he would have done? Hey, you don't know? You don't know how to behave with powerful people? Come, I will teach you. So ordinary teacher will take the student to that person. Sir, don't worry. This fellow doesn't know how to behave with you. Therefore I ask pardon. Therefore I sing one more song. Ordinary teacher will tell. But this teacher is not an ordinary teacher. So this Alvar says, all right, what you did is perfectly all right. Being a sadhu, a sadhu's glory always go to the Lord. Even if a sadhu appreciates any human being, he appreciates that it is due to blessings of the Lord, you have achieved this glory in your life. Be devoted to that Lord. Like that only, even a sadhu will appreciate any human being. So this teacher says, all right, I also don't want to live here. Let me go. Before going, he goes to Bhagavan and says to Bhagavan, oh Bhagavan, my Kanikannan, my Shishya is exiled. Without him I cannot live. Therefore I am also going out. Then Bhagavan says, without you I cannot live. I also come with me. Varadaraja says, Kanchi Varadaraja says, without you I cannot live. Bhagavan says, a Purna Vastu says that without you people, committed people, truthful people, I cannot live. I also come. All right, you come. But one condition, Bhagavan, I cannot provide you accommodation, bed, those things. So you take all your vessels and bed and everything you take. Bhagavan took, it seems. Evidences are there. You go, there is a place, there is a village called Or Irkai. And there is a place called Swannavannam Cheida Perumal, Yethoktakari. So as even he was asked to carry his bed, so this Bhagavan, Varadaraja has carried the bed and they went out of the country within the same day. And same day what happened? All ill omens appeared to the Raja. That Raja got everywhere burning sensation in his body. So he called the Vaidyas, doctors, and they told it is not physically, there is no reason at all for your burning sensation. You find out some sadhus and find out the reason. So Prohita was brought, a priest was brought, and the priest immediately asked, have you done any Bhagavata apachara? Have you done anything wrong to the people who are committed to truth? He remembered, yes, morning one fellow came asking for begging. I asked him to sing my glory, he refused because he told I am committed for Bhagavan only, I cannot sing, therefore I exiled him. Oh, that is the biggest mistake. Go and ask pardon and bring them. So this Raja goes there searching for these three people. Who are they? Tirumalizai Alvar, then Kanikannan and Bhagavan Varadaraja. Then he goes and asks pardon to request the Alvar, the Tirumalizai Alvar. See, simple boy, just because I told some words, he has got angry, therefore he changed your mind also. You come back, please come back. Then that Alvar says, no, you can convince me. How to convince Bhagavan? How to convince Bhagavan? So he goes to Bhagavan and says, hey Bhagavan, nicely all the 6 times I fed you with all nice things. Being Raja, he was the prime donor. So nicely you ate all nice things. Just because these fakirs came and told you, you came out, you changed your party. What is this? Please come back. Then Bhagavan told, see, I know that you are a devotee, but they are great devotees. I cannot accept anyone who misbehave with my devotee who are committed for truth. So if they are willing to come back, all right, no problem, I will come back. I will pardon you. Then this Guru says, I don't have any problem with you, Raja. If my brahmachari agrees to come back, we will come back. So this Raja was tousled here and there. Finally, then he holds on the feet of that Kanikannan. Even though you are young in age, please come, I ask you pardon. Then all the people, Bhagavan also came back with his bed. What was his bed? Snake, Adishesha. And that it was showing Raja was afraid of, bed konjam ulla sutti veipa. Please keep your bed intact. Then Bhagavan was waiting. Go inside. No, order has to come. From where? From this Alvar. Because he gave order, I went with him. Now he has brought me. He should give order that go and lie down inside the Garbhagriha, like that he says. Again one more song was sung by this Alvar. And we find Bhagavan is still there. You go there, please. If you happen to go to Kanchipuram, go and visit. Or Irikkai. One day night he stayed, Therefore, one day night stay. Village name. One day night stay. In English, if you want to translate. Or Irikkai. Sonna Vannam Seida Perumal. Yathoktakari. In Sanskrit, Yatha Uktakari. Bhagavan did as the devotee commanded. As the man of commitment commanded, Bhagavan obeyed. So that is the sample from Alvar's life. Then if you come to Acharya's life, because we cannot exhaust this great Mahatma's life, how many people you will describe? It will be going on another 100 hours. You will be bored. Same thing, Swami. Idea is same, only masala you are changing. Principles are same, only names are changed and incidents are changed. In some Mahatma's life, incidents also same. We will come to know the same incident where husband doesn't touch the wife because she has taken Shapata in the name of Lord. It comes where? It comes in the life of Trinilakanta Nayanar. Same incident comes in Bhakta Kumbhara's life. Same incident. Wife does Shapata in the name of Panduranga, so husband leaves without touching wife. So there is no end for explaining this. It is impossible also, and there is no end also for explaining all the lives of great Mahatmas. Therefore, I am just giving samples from one group. One group was Nayanmars, another group was Alvars. Third group is Acharyas. Among them, Bhagavan Shankaracharya, if you take, what was his teaching? Brahma Satyam, Jagat Mithya. This physical existence is nothing but an apparent thing. This physical life is nothing but an appearance. This body is valid as long as it is struggling to gain the knowledge about the reality. This creation is valid thing as long as it helps you in getting the knowledge about the reality. That is the teaching. Brahma Satyam, Bhagavan alone is Satyam. He is the only reality. One Kapalika heard this. So he was very happy to hear this philosophy. All right, I want one human body. For my Narabali, I want one human body. Let me go there and see whether he holds to his ideals. Whether he is truthful to his ideals, let me see. He goes there and asks Shankaracharya, what is your teaching, sir? Brahma Satyam, Jagat Mithya. Jivo Brahmaiva, na paraha. You are Bhagavan, and Bhagavan is the only truth, and this Jagat, which includes this physical body, is nothing but appearance. That means, don't you find any utility for this body? No, at present situation I don't have any utility because I have already gained this knowledge. As long as you don't gain this knowledge, this body becomes a means for sadhana, doing sadhana. Now I find there is no utility. All right, if you don't find utility for your body, why can't you offer to me? Shankaracharya says, yes, I thought I don't have any utility for my body. Now at least there is some utility that this body is useful for someone else. All right, you take. Then the Kapalika comes with a sword in order to kill Shankara. Shankaracharya says, not here, because other disciples are there. If they happen to know, they will finish you off. So, evening you come to that place. No, this is a trick to escape. No, I don't tell lie. When I say I will come there, I will come there. You please come. Shankaracharya goes there and offers his body. Being truthful to his philosophy, he openly offers his body. All right, please take this body. And he sits in meditation. He says, after a few minutes, you please take my body. What happened? You all know that story. Same time, here one disciple was meditating, and in that meditation he was meditating on Narasimha Prabhu. Bhagavan Narasimha. Bhagavan Narasimha comes and kills this Kapalika and protects Shankaracharya's body. I will not say he has protected Shankaracharya. He has protected Shankaracharya's body. Because according to Shankaracharya, he is not body. Lakshmi Narasimha Karavalamba Stotram, one Stotram is there. There, Acharya himself describes all these incidents. When Acharya opened his eyes, he saw there is a body of Kapalika and one disciple is in Samadhi, but his hands are full of blood and other thing. Then he shook the disciple and asked, what happened? I don't know what happened. I am here. Before coming here, what you were doing? I was meditating. On whom? On my Ishtadevata. Who was the Ishtadevata? Bhagavan Narasimha. Satyameva Jayate. Then if you take the Dasa Parampara, there is a Dasa Parampara. There are one traditions in our Indian religious history. The earliest tradition is what? Nayanmars and Alvars. And next come Acharyas. And then come Dasa Parampara. Purandara Dasa, Vittala Dasa, Ekanatha Swami, Janardana Swami. These are all Dasa Parampara. They are totally committed for Panduranga. They are all the devotees of Panduranga. If you go to Karnataka and Maharashtra, you will come across. It's a beautiful parampara. If you take a sample from that parampara, Kabir Das, though he was brought up by a Muslim parent, though he was considered by the society as Muslim, still he was the devotee of Bhagavan Rama. He accepted Ramananda Saraswati as his guru and he got Diksha in Rama Mantra. And so many times Bhagavan Rama did lot of leela in his life. But one leela which is really wonderful it is. What happened? Jnaneshwar and Namadev, they also belong to that Dasa Parampara, great saints. Jnaneshwar Maharaj was considered even Avatara. So they went for Bharat Parikrama. While doing Bharat Parikrama, they came to Kashi. And the devotion of Kabir Das towards the sadhus is extraordinary. He will do anything for the sake of sadhus. When they came, along with them so many other devotees also came. Then Kabir Das was very happy because Panduranga himself has come in the form of Jnaneshwar. That was his understanding about Jnaneshwar. So he goes to wife and says, hey, it is the grand day in our life. So many sadhus might have come to our house and you might have fed them. But here is Bhagavan himself has come in the form of Jnaneshwar and Bhagavan's friend in the form of Namadeva. Both have come. Somehow you manage and feed them. Then wife says, do you know how many days you did not eat, I did not eat, children did not eat? That also he was not remembering. How many days? Already 4 days over. Nothing is there. Somehow please manage. So she goes to a grocery shop and requests something, at least this time you give. Because that fellow was fed up with her loan. So no possibility of recovery of loan. So he was fed up. At the same time he had a ill wish towards her. When she requested, he shamelessly asked her, all right, if you accept that you will be my wife for 1 day, I will give whatever you want. This mother says, all right, in order to serve the sadhus, I will give up my chastity. You see, this is the country where these types of mother lived. She gives a word and brings all the food items, nicely prepares everything. Finally, she feeds. And Jnaneshwar and Namadeva all went. Kabir Das ji was very happy and he wondered how his wife managed all those things. Then when he came to congratulate her, he found that she was crying. He asked, what is the reason why you are crying? Instead of being happy, why you are crying? Then she says everything. Kabir Das says, what a grand devotion towards the sadhus. Since you have given word, we should follow it. All right, come along with me. I myself will take you and hand over to that person. That shameless fellow, shop owner, even at least after seeing Kabir Das ji, his mind should have changed. That much of tamasic nature. She went inside, but she could not imagine that she will be in that situation. Therefore she prays to the Lord, oh Lord, when Draupadi cried to protect her chastity, you came and helped. When I cry, will you not come? Like that she was praying. And that time 2 policemen come. So nicely the shopwala was beaten and she was protected finally. And both the police people bring her to Kabir Das ji. While coming, she was wondering who these police people. Then she found one person's neck, Kaustuba Mala was there. Immediately she understands that it is none other than Bhagavan Rama himself. To what extent these grand people went, you see, just to protect the word, just to lead a honest life. We may not be able to go to that extent, at least to some extent we can try. more historical evidences are there. We will see in the next class. Satyavratam satyaparam trisatyam satyasya yonim nihitam cha satye satyasya satyam vrita satyanetram satyatmakam tvam sharanam prapannaha. Om shanti shanti shanti. Harihi Om Tat Sad. Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.